These cars are pretty straightforward. And I know they've developed a reputation.
They're bombs.
They're bombs, right? Yeah. The internet's not too friendly on them. These things will explode no matter what. I feel like maybe these things are, I don't know. I think people are trying to push too much through them. So I'm hoping if this thing's all original and I can give it some love, it'll hopefully maintain reliability. Maybe we get proven wrong. You know, who knows? My WRX engine is dead. After pouring countless hours and resources into this thing, trying to bring it back to life, one catastrophic mistake, and it all came to a grinding halt. So let's talk about what I think went wrong, how you can avoid the same costly mistake I did, and what the new plan is for this car. Let's get to it. Let's back up a little bit and talk about everything that we did to this car to try to stop this very thing from happening before it happened. So this is my 2005 Super WRX. I've had it for a few months now. We got this car. It has 216,000 miles on it, and the engine was definitely tired when we bought it. It wasn't even running, and we got it back up running under its own power, drove it home. We were super excited, but we knew it needed work. So we started trying to do everything we could to maintain this thing to prevent engine failure. So new timing belt, new accessory belts, new radiator hoses. We did the valve cover gaskets, new spark plugs, new vacuum hoses all the way around. Everything that you see is blue is us. We tried to replace every line that we touched. So we replaced all of that. Then we got into the fuel, replaced the fuel pressure regulator. There's a new turbo. Just because we had everything off, we're like, let's just try out the max speeding rod turbo. We threw that in there. It was boosting great. It felt awesome. It was definitely starting to come back, feel more like itself. We hadn't dialed in the idle issue yet, but we felt we were getting super close. So we've even moved on. These things are on dead tires. We got new Yokohama Advans. We got the NK TS5s and all new brakes and pads, rotors, everything, new fluid all the way around. We really gave this thing like the college try to give it a new lease on life. So with all of that done, what the hell happened? So after we got the timing belt done and everything, we were a lot more comfortable driving it, and we started actually test driving it and stress testing it a little bit. And something I heard but couldn't quite identify was like this grumbling in like third gear at like 2000 RPM ish. I was like, it was this weird grumbling noise. I'm like, is that valves? I'm like, what is that? But it, you accelerated faster, it went away. So I'm like, it's just weird. I thought maybe it was some of the transmission. I could not figure it out, but everything else was running great. So I kind of dismissed it. And I think that was like my critical error doing all of this stuff. Come down here. Oh, so underneath this car, I don't know if you can tell, it's kind of hard to tell, but the car has been jacked up by this oil pan at some point. It's all dented in. It didn't look super serious. It really didn't. But I was like, but it was on our radar, and I bought a new pan. I'm like, we got to replace this pan, new gasket. We're going to do all of that. But it seemed to be doing okay. As I've done this research, what I believe is that like when you start hearing that weird grumble valve, like it didn't seem like rod knock. I had the access port. I wasn't getting like a feedback knock in that thing, but that noise is supposedly indicative of rod bearing failure. And so as we got more comfortable with the car, we got the new tires on it, we were happy driving it even faster and faster, this happened. Yeah, and as you can tell, that sounded freaking horrible. I thought it was like a exhaust gasket burst, like broke at first, because we've been touching exhaust components. So I didn't immediately pull over. I was trying to listen, and it just got worse and worse and worse. And then all of a sudden, the timing swung super negative, and I'm like, oh shit, I did it. I broke it. It's over. But why I bring up that oil pan, I think the oil pickup sits pretty low in that pan, and they're known to be weak. And I think when they jacked on that pan, it cracked the oil pickup. And so when you crack the oil pickup, it has a hard time like delivering oil to lubricate all of the cylinders properly. When we were driving it around town slow, I think it had enough oil pressure. And so we weren't having really any issues. But as we got happier with the car, more comfortable, we started pushing it harder and harder and harder. It struggles to deliver that oil with the cracked pickup. And then all of a sudden, everything just goes cattywampus. So that's my hypothesis on what happened there. I don't know if there's anything else we could have touched or that we had touched that would have led to that failure, but I have a feeling what we didn't touch, and it was on our radar and we didn't touch it, that oil pan. You know, I think if we dropped that pan, we would have seen that pickup. We would have been like, oh, we got to replace this. And I think that it would have actually helped keep that from happening. But, you know, as I said, I was focused on the IACV or the idle issue. So I wasn't even thinking about any oiling. We replaced the oil. We had, you know, I didn't think about it. So, and then to add insult to injury, the test drive that I was doing, I was replacing the IACV just to see if that would fix our idling issues. And I got a bad one. I had to return it because it caught fire. Oh, so yeah, so that's my hypothesis on what I did wrong. You know, we were really trying to like not have this happen. I won't know any of this for sure until we actually take the motor apart and see what happened. I'm pretty sure from the noise you heard, from the symptoms that we were getting before the failure and everything, that is most likely what happened. You know, so we'll start. I'll drain the oil a little bit, see how much metal's in there, see if this engine can be saved. But judging by those noises and everything, I have low hope. Justin had to literally get his Jeep, get a tow strap, pull me several miles home, and it's been parked here for a month now. So it was pretty devastating. It sucked. Man, it sucked. Which brings us to the new plan for the WRX. I paid $1,000 for this car and then spent another $1,500 in maintenance and wheels and tires and brakes and all that to get it to where it is now. Just broken in front of my house. Oh, so I need to either part it out and get my money back so I can put it into something else, or find an engine somewhere. Or maybe something found me. This, you actually know this car if you follow the channel. This is my Z. She's a garage queen, and she had to make some space for this. I actually already found an engine. I thought that it was going to take me like a year to get to this position, to find like a Japanese engine or travel a couple hundred miles to go get one, because I know shipping these things are crazy. And somebody in town, like 10 minutes away, randomly posted on Facebook Marketplace that they were unloading this engine that they had in a GC8 Impreza, along with like an entire drivetrain for what I was expecting to pay for for just the engine. So some of these parts, I don't know if I need, you know, I'm pretty sure my transmission's fine. I have all these parts on this car already. So that hopefully if I don't need them, I can maybe part them out, sell them, and recuperate some of the costs of the swap. But this thing is here. It's here. He built this about 2 years ago. There's an unknown number of miles on the actual short block, but they looked good when he had it apart. and then the redone heads and head gaskets and valve cover gaskets, you know, not time belt, everything outside that short block was done about 12,000 miles ago. So this is, he was pushing good power through it. It was rock solid. The only thing he was calling out was that this valve cover gasket, I just cleaned it up. It was leaking just a little bit. So maybe resealing this gasket. But this thing is essentially ready to go in. It's from an 02 and mine's an 05. So all I have to do is yank that out and slap this thing in here. Should be easy, right? Oh, so yeah. This year, our mantra kind of has been, you can do this stuff. We've been trying to tell everybody, you know, you can pick up the wrench and go on to the forums and, you know, our YouTube and learn how to do your timing belt, learn how to change your oil, learn how to change your clutch. You know, we're just like, our whole thing has been YouTube University is here to teach you all of this stuff. And since we started that mantra, our jobs have just been getting crazier and crazier and crazier. I've never pulled like an engine like this out of the car. Justin and I, our very first video on this channel, the first series, was us yanking a V8 out of a Suburban to use in his Scout. He did most of the heavy lifting with that. You know, I was playing cameraman for a lot of it. And so now it's my turn. I've never engine swapped a car. I've never had a car that had a dead engine and myself brought it back running again. So this is like probably, as far as my mechanic career has gone, this will be the largest undertaking I've ever done. I hope you guys wish me luck and stick around for it and provide any advice that you have, if you've done this before, or if you're just curious, just words of support, you know, that would be super, super awesome. Yeah. I'm just gonna go for it. I'm excited. And like, I feel like if I can do this, I'm ready to do like anything with the car. I'm like, it's work, but it's fun work, and you know, it's even better with your buddies. But yeah. Alex, who gave me the engine, dude, thank you so much. If you ever see this, I will be letting you know, as we get the old one out, this one in, all that stuff. Everybody else, please stick around. If you enjoy our content, you know, you made it this far, please consider liking, subscribing, following along with the series. Yeah, I think the next time you see me, I'm going to be undressing the old engine, get it ready to yank out, and starting this big old process. So I hope you guys all take care, and yeah, see you next time.